You're now listening to The Heart of House, Episode 3.
What did I say? What was the question?
Whose life are you
Whose
living?
life are you living?
Yeah.
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 Ooh, wait.
Yeah, that's heavy.
We had that conversation. And sometimes when I get to rolling, I don't even know what the hell be coming out, and that's that channeling. And when I went back and listened to that made me pause it real quick. Because when we just listened to it just a minute ago, it was like, damn.
Right.
Whose life are you living?
Yeah.
That's a valid question.
That's a question for real.
A question for real.
Heart of House is home to the entrepreneurial spirit.
As we sit down with our gathered experiences,
We also share stories and lessons of success and failure from some of the most extraordinary and outstanding people.
with educational segments on spirituality,
Relationships,
money,
and much more,
we get to the core,
the root,
the heart of the matter.
to help you improve your overall health and well-being.
From practical matters to divine wisdom, we bring it to the table.
It's food for your soul. Let's eat.
Just had to say that with the shoulders.
Yeah.
We bring it to the table.
What's going on, everybody? It's your host, Kalani Picasso Benjamin.
What's going on? It's Jake.
Yes, sir. We in the building today. So yeah, we're just gonna go into that conversation that we had about identity and whose life are you living, because I think most of the time
Yeah. If you don't check yourself.
you end up living somebody else's stuff.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, most of us spend most of our time focusing on what somebody else doing. And we think we live in our own life, but we're living a life that ain't even ours.
Right.
We live in a life based on somebody else. That go back to that quote, comparison is the thief of joy. So we constantly in that comparison mode.
Yo. Chasing. That's like grasping for the wind.
Right.
You ain't, you'll never hold it.
Right.
Matter of fact, the more you squeeze it, the less of it you got.
Ooh.
Yo, you.
Ooh. Hold on.
Yo, man.
Let's have a moment of, and not even a moment of silence. We got to get some church up in here, boy.
Yo.
Bruh, that is deep. No, that's beyond deep. I don't even, that's that grown man. That grown man.
Yeah.
Sugar.
Yeah.
The more you grab and hold on to it, the less of it you have.
Yeah.
Boy, that make me feel some kind of way right there. Shoot.
Yo. Yeah.
Well, see, this, I can't even say nothing else after that. We're dropping some damn jewels on y'all today.
If you wake up and your head hurt, you know why.
Ding, 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 ding.
Jewels fell on your head.
Diamonds. Whose life are you living? Are you living your life, or are you living somebody else's? Because we're all one and we're all tuned into all these things, whether we realize it or not. Some of the thoughts and ideas are not, we may just be picking up on somebody else's stuff. Because I've picked up on a lot of people's stuff and felt the excitement myself. And, and then like, wait a minute, but that's not mine, because, you were designed for a specific thing. Now, if I pick up on somebody else's stuff and we're like, ooh, yeah, that's cool. And I feel their excitement and then I try to run with it, but things are not working out. That's not my lane. That's not my bag.
Right. Yeah.
My bag is the one that is easy to open.
Mm-hmm.
My bag is the one that's easy to work with, and there's little to no effort because I've been designed and created originally to utilize that bag, not that bag. I mean, I can use them, but this is the bag that was me.
Yeah.
So then, so then the question goes back to the question like, whose life are you living?
Mm.
Are we living the lives of our parents?
Yeah.
Are we living the lives of our peers, somebody that we've seen? Oh, we like what they do and this and that.
Yeah.
Does it move you? Does it move you from your core, or is it a good idea?
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, along with that, how do you feel when stuff don't work out? And then we get in this cycle of struggle and we think, oh, you got to work hard, and success is when you do all this struggling and persevere and all of that stuff. That's not how nature does it.
Yeah. Huh. That's very, very interesting. So identity, a part of how, I say a large part of how I got to be who I think I am. I probably shared this before. I played football in school. I done had a financial means to stay. And how did I even get to school to play football? I was very interested in animation, video games. That was my thing, man. I had a stack of magazines, like from 96 to like probably till I graduated, like 02. Like anytime a tips and tricks, EGM, any monthly gamer magazine, I had that shit. Had the video games at the house. All my homeboys would come over. It'd be like 5 of us in there on a 64, I liked the games. I probably used my imagination more at the times because I would draw, I would make my own kind of comics. I draw comics. I would go as far as to make a video game.
Wow.
Have like 30 pages. First page, this is how the start button looks when you press the start button.
Wow.
Storylines. I mean, I was into it.
Yeah.
So when I went to college, I wanted to go somewhere that had animation, and I like sports. I wanted to play football. So I found a school way up in Massachusetts. It's Mount Ida. It's actually closed now. They closed down like probably 6 months ago. They were bought out by MIT.
What?
So I wonder if your degree's worth anything now.
Right. or was it ever worth anything?
So I left from there and went to another school. Didn't really do well. Ended up getting into some legal matters and shifted lanes. I was back home, pretty much just working. I was working at Marshall's, working at McDonald's, part time, doing some stuff I ain't gonna speak about, and eventually,
what's an extracurricular activity?
Extracurricular activity.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
Eventually, it came to the point where, I had a conversation with myself, like, cause I just wasn't satisfied where I was at, and I was having to look at that. Like, I felt like, in so many words, I had this feeling of my life is coming to a point where I got to decide, am I going to go this way or go that way? And then at this day, I've realized you always have that decision. However, at that moment, at that moment in my life, that was, the decision had that much gravity to it. So I ended up going to the library, got a book on intuition, and I read that book, and it was weird as hell. I read that book, and I had a homeboy. We smoke, whatever, play Madden. He's like, "Yo, Tone, yo, I got this movie, man. You're not going to believe the name of it. I'm like, all right. I was like, man, I'm going to come check it out. So I get to the crib and he like, yo, name of this movie is called Dead Tone. And I was like, all right. So at this moment, I'm already thinking like, I got to make a decision about what am I getting ready to do. And I get this book on intuition. And my homeboy called me about this book, about this movie called Dead Tone.
Oh,
and
man.
I'm like, all right. Of course, the movie, it was about somebody playing on the phone and shit. And eventually they called somebody's number who was a killer. And
Right.
he came to the house and just massacred everything.
But yo, that's ooh.
You know, so eventually I was like, man, you know what? I'm out. I got a sister that lives in Bremerton, Washington, West Coast. She's like, hey, you know, if you ever want to come out here, you can. So when I called her, I was like, hey, look, I'm going to come out there. She's like, great. So I talked to my mom, like, I don't know, whatever day it was. And she's like, oh, before you go out there, come visit your mom. So I come visit my mom. And the Sunday I was supposed to leave, my sister called me the day before, like, never mind. And I was like, what? So now I'm in North Carolina. Like, am I going to go back home? I was like, no, I guess I just pick up right here. And I ain't know what I wanted to do. Like, for real, this was like, Carolina was a fresh start. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I mean, I had always wrote music. So I always continued to write music. It's just as far as like working. Did I want to find a profession being a nurse? I volunteered at the hospital for a minute, probably for like 2 years in the emergency room, seen all kinds of things. And I'm skipping something. I volunteered there for 2 years, but I found a job at the bakery. I worked there for 3 years. And it came a point, like I was very excited when I got that job because it took me like 4 months to find a job when I got here.
Wow.
So then I started working there, and eventually it became to the point where the human resources guy was like, hey, you know, Tony, you do such a great job, man. We can see you working here for 20 years.
Oh, man.
You know, and that shit hit me like,
yo,
if I don't change what I'm doing, I'm going to be here for 20 years.
Right.
And I started grabbing every kind of curtain I could touch to find something different to get into, you know, because that notion of like, it was a little bit of a fear and a shock to like, you know, if you don't do what you want to do with your life, you're going to be doing what you don't want to do.
Whoa, and that's deep right there.
I ended up going to carpentry school. And part of that was my pop was, he could make sand out of cereal. You know, he could take something and he could take nothing and make something out of it. So right. I'd always seen that, but I never been into it. So that led me to go into carpentry. And once I got into that, you know, that felt good. Like, I mean, that just felt good. I got used to swinging a hammer. I got used to reading the measuring tape. I'm like, man, this ain't too bad. You know, how can I grow it? How can I do more? And eventually got the Habitat.
Right.
That's how I met Kwalani. And I still wanting to grow it. I ended up going back to school again for architectural technology. So then I do that. And now I got a job in the field that I want to work in, and I'm still like, yo, if I don't change what I'm doing, this is what I'm going to be doing, you know? And it's not a negative, it's not a negative perspective. It's just like, if I'm looking at myself and I'm not happy with something, or I want to change something, I have to realize that it's my duty to change it. And I can't wait till I'm like, or rather, let me say it like this. I talk to people who've been doing something for 30 years and I ask them, how'd you get into do what you was doing? Get into doing what you were doing. And at some point in the conversation, they'll say, well, you know, I used to fix motorcycles, man. I really loved that. But I went with this and I kind of wish I'd have stuck with that. And I go like, I don't know if I want to have that feeling.
Yeah.
You know, because he's like, if, for example, this person's like, you know, if I'd have been doing that, I wouldn't be doing this right now.
Right.
So there's a little bit of like,
you don't want that regret.
I don't want that regret. And then this person is, I guess I'm trying to peer into their mind. Like, I wonder if it sounds like they would rather be doing that.
Right.
However, they doing this instead.
Oh yeah. You felt it when they said it.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's kind of like, I think I am who I ought to be at this moment. And I've learned that things evolve and they have to, because if you're, for instance, if I was thinking the same way that I was thinking when I was 10, I wouldn't be sitting right here, because things have to grow and evolve. When I was 10, I had a limited amount of understanding,
right, and
experience. So I think your identity is always evolving if you allow it to,
that's big.
or you become stuck.
Head on over to theheartofhouse.com where you can connect with us. We'd love to hear from you. We value your feedback so that we can deliver to you better and better content to help you improve your overall health and well-being. You can also follow us on Facebook as well as Instagram at The Heart of House.
Man,
yeah.
Yo, that's big. Your identity is always evolving as you allow it to. And that's real. And the thing that's so interesting about the identity and what we've come to know as the identity is that it's a fixed thing. Is that, oh, this is who I am.
Right.
And when we say that, and those feelings like you're experiencing, even though you enjoy, carpentry, and then you found a really nice position now, the feeling of something just ain't fully there. That curiosity keeps you like, oh man, this can't be it, because it's the question about what about this is this not serving me? Why am I doing this? Am I doing this because I need something that will provide me with a stable income so that I could eat and so that I could pay the bill? It's safety. What would I be doing if I was living my best life, most abundant life, living from my genius mind and creating and having fun and being light? What would I be doing? Would I be here at this job, working this job? For me, the answer was no.
All right.
No, I wouldn't be.
Yeah.
And speaking of that job that I just left at the beginning of the year from Habitat, not because I didn't enjoy it or didn't like it, but there was so much more. And staying in that space wouldn't allow me to grow and expand to who I need to become because it's safe. And that thing is not necessarily the job itself. It's not necessarily, oh, I gotta get a different job, because I was doing that at Habitat for free.
Right.
Before I became hired.
Right.
And it was volunteering at Habitat, stepping out from the barbershop and stepping away from that fear of, oh, if I'm not here working at the barbershop, I won't be able to make any money. and I got to make money to pay the bills. So I got to be here. That was me trapping myself and putting myself in prison. So instead I said, man, F that, the surrender. I surrendered to, hey, I always wanted to go volunteer with Habitat. And I knew that they were closed on Mondays. Like that's the day I'm off. Yeah. So I said, I'm gonna have to just go do it.
Yeah.
So I chose to 2 days out of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm going for half a day. Somebody need to come and open up this barbershop if y'all want it to be open, because I'm going to volunteer Habitat. And I did that. And I promise you, that first day over there in Happy Hill Garden, we were doing a house, met Podrick, met Josh and Billy, and we were putting up trusses. I said that was the perfect day for me to come, because when they asked, anybody want to get it, I get up there because I like climbing stuff and doing all kind of stuff, and I ain't never built a house before either. Mm-hmm. Got up there, was in those trusses. I was just waiting for direction. They gave me direction. I'm boom, hammering, nailing, doing whatever. Man, after that day, when I got back to the barbershop, my whole light was turned up. Lit. I'm trying to tell you, boy. My whole world changed.
Yeah.
Just like that. Mm-hmm. And now my experience where I was and where I was unhappy became that much better. And by me doing that, it wasn't me running away from the barbershop or trying to do something else, because I did that the whole time. Most of the time I was there trying to, get this side hustle and do this and do that. Now I did the music not because I wanted a side hustle, although I was like wanting to blow up, but we were freaking good.
Yeah.
And I loved making music. But I mean, I got into stuff like Primerica Financial Services. Listen, the hell I'm doing trying to sell some insurance. I don't even believe in insurance, man. Because this, the way it's all designed and all that, man. And if I'm selling something that I don't even believe in,
can't sell it.
I can't sell it.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna be successful. I was doing it because, I could make a big chunk of money here and there and do this and that. I hated it.
Yeah.
But I didn't hate the thing that I was doing for free, and the thing that I was doing for free opened up all kind of money. Mm-hmm. Ironically, me not being at the barbershop and not making the money for that little bit of half a day expanded my contacts, my network, and then ultimately my net worth, because of the people that I was in contact with, and because of who I am and my energy. It just worked.
All right.
Opportunities jumped out of nowhere. I mean, as I began to volunteer more and more, I had random other volunteers asking me, I got this project. You think you could do whatever? And in a state of fear or lack, that version of me would have been like, well, I don't know, because I don't really know anything. I would have done that. But because I was happy, no other reason, I was like, oh yeah, no problem. I can take a look at it.
Yeah.
Confidence.
Right.
I felt that. And I responded naturally with that because I believed in myself.
Right.
Not necessarily, I don't have the skill and I don't believe that I can do this. I believed in me. And I'm figuring, man, Billy and whoever, all these guys around me, all I got to do is ask. And, hey, can you help me on this?
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
So even in this conversation right now, just reflecting on that is powerful when I think about it. Like, wow, that's the version of me that peeks his head out from time to time. Mm-hmm. And that most people know me from that state, but a lot of people don't know me from the sad, being depressed or, and I'm not talking about like, I'm here just drug out, but the feeling of sadness will come up, but then I'll sit with it and recognize it and be like, wait a minute, what is this really coming from? And ironically, I just sit here and talk about the confidence, but all of those feelings ultimately tie back to fear and insecurity. Like the fear of being judged and laughed at, embarrassment, all those things, which as a child and growing up, it had me shut my voice off. So I remember, my dad sometimes would be, if I was responding to my mom or dad or something like that, I would get the stop mumbling kind of thing, because I'm thinking I'm talking, but on a very subconscious level, my voice had been restricted. And as an adult, I started noticing in certain situations, my voice and how I speak. Now, when I'm fully engaged and excited and in that confident space, my voice carries and projects enough. But when I feel even a subtle bit of insecurity or lack or some form like that, my voice will tighten up and I will feel like I'm really talking. I mean, I'm talking, but through constant study of myself, I recognize, I can feel the tightness, the restriction. It's almost like a ventriloquist, how they can throw their voice kind of thing.
Right.
Whereas I was in the car with Happy one time and I was explaining it to her and I said, watch this. I can talk just as plainly, just like I'm talking right now, and make my voice almost disappear to you. And I was like, dang, that's kind of cool, but it's also a little bit interesting because when do I do that unconsciously? So I started talking just like this and I guess spoke to her like I was trying to be private and not let everybody else hear it.
Yeah.
And she can kind of hear it, but it was a difference.
Yeah.
So I noticed that when I'm sharing information with people and it's in a crowd and then people around, I can feel it tightening up and, and people that I'm talking to will be like trying to lean in and try to hear. And I feel like I'm speaking, but it's to keep some kind of things quiet.
I got you. I do the same thing.
Yeah. And it's so freaking interesting because I'm like, dang. Then when when you wake up in the morning and you sound like Barry White, hey, totally different because you ain't wound up and and it's loose.
Right.
You relax. You in that state. You coming back from the space that you were naturally created in. And so, and your voice reflects that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right. So then the idea is, how do I walk in that space? How do I walk in the space of being abundant and expressive? Because the other is lack and limitation, because you pull in, you withhold information, you withhold your energy. And that's not who I want to embody. I want to embody expression. So I have to visit those spaces, those secret spaces that are within me that I don't want nobody to know about. I don't want nobody to know about. I feel sometimes I don't feel like I'm enough, or sometimes I don't feel worthy, or sometimes I'm just sad for no reason, or I might cry for no reason. Those are the things that we're taught as men that we can't do, and then it's a very dangerous thing.
Yeah.
And it's behind it.
Yeah.
And not the reason because somebody's racist and no, it's way bigger than that. when the rubber really meets the road and shit that happens to us that we don't like or that is absolutely out of pocket, the real question is, what am I doing? What is the vibration that I'm emitting that will allow me to experience this experience right now?
Right.
And then what is this experience teaching me? How am I responding to it, to this experience?
Right.
Those are the biggest questions to ask. Our reaction, knee-jerk reaction, is to buck against fight and like that shit ain't right.
Yeah.
But you look at the perfect examples, like
the guy was in the chokehold.
Yeah, the guy was in the chokehold. But I'm saying examples of people that were beyond that. There was this one brother who had been in prison wrongly for I don't know how many years, came out and was just as cool and calm and forgiving, and like ain't nothing happened. Even and Nelson Mandela, like the biggest example, came out the perfect example of when it said to bless those who have hurt you. Mm-hmm. And that's not the same teaching, slave teaching, as, turn the other cheek, get slapped, turn the other cheek, that kind of thing. That's different.
You're not going to let nobody slap you.
No, like if I'm getting slapped, I'm going to defend, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or I don't know how I would respond, depending on who it is, what the situation is. Sometimes it might be just like, a laugh or whatever.
Yeah.
Just depends. Mm-hmm. But we're talking about something that had happened. That's already happened. It's gone. 20 years later.
Right.
You still living there.
Yeah.
Why? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The only person that's hurting in that situation is you. All right. Well, we hope you all enjoyed the show, and until next time, we'll talk to you soon.
So leave some comments, share your thoughts.
Yes, sir.
Please, we love to hear back from you.
Absolutely. Peace and love.
All right, take it easy.